So this year I've been going to the movies a lot more frequently than I have in years past. And one thing I've started to notice is just how much AMC is airing and showing and re-releasing old movies. I was able to go see the theatrical re-release of Tenet in IMAX. That was wonderful. But it's not just that. Sony is putting all of the Sony Spider-Man movies back into theaters. Disney is not just theatrically re-releasing episode 1 on May the 4th for May the 4th be with you, the Star Wars Day, whatever. Not just that, they're also partnering with AMC to do a 24/7 marathon beginning to end on Star Wars Day of every single Star Wars film. And on top of that, I think Shrek 2 is in theaters. And for like its 20th anniversary or something. We've got more, like, all these other movies. There are more movies that I don't even remember that are being re-released into theaters. And, you know, one person might look at this massive shift in theaters going from, you know, oh, look at the new movies that are coming out, to, hey, you want to see Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man movie? As like a head scratcher. Like, why is this happening? Well, let me put it like this. I think this is proof that theaters are not dying, but movies are. So, you know, we've been seeing people talking about, oh, the death of movie theaters. People aren't going to theaters as much. But there's still a baseline and fan base of people who love going to the movies, and they have not stopped going to the movies. I've been feeling like this year in particular, there have been fewer movies coming out, or at least fewer promoted movies coming out this year, at least ones that look interesting, than last year. Now, I do understand that last year there was a glut of COVID films that came out, right? Films that were stuck in production during COVID, finally getting released. But at the same time, you would think that more movies would come out this year than have been released. But unfortunately, that has not been the case. But one thing that's been filling up the schedule is re-releases of films. And movies like like Tenet, they have been doing decently at the box office. So I think that what this shows us is that theaters are not necessarily going away. If you put good movies into theaters, people are going to see those movies. But unfortunately, the studios have not been making good movies, and so people are less interested in going to the theater. Why would you go to the theater if all the movies there are going to be garbage and trash, or at best, mid? You're not going to, right? Many people are just staying at home and watching streaming shows because they're finding streaming shows to be better than the movies that are out in the theaters. And let's be honest, I can't really blame them. But I think it's a little bit more than that, because theaters are still showing new content, and that's never going to go away. But I think the shift in what's being sent to theaters is also interesting. We've seen over the past, I think, couple of years, Angel Studios put out The Chosen, like, season premieres out as theatrical releases, and they chart every single time because The Chosen is actually a pretty good show. It's got an insanely high rating on IMDb right now, rivaling some great shows of all time. And we're starting to see some other people follow suit. Disney is deciding to release some sort of like Mandalorian Grogu film, which is probably honestly going to end up being like the first 2 episodes of a Mandalorian season, just like Angel Studios has been doing with The Chosen. And additionally, Angel Studios is also doing something similar with their upcoming film and TV series Homestead, where it seems like they're going to be bundling like this sort of like the first 2 or so episodes of a TV series, or making a prequel film that will then go directly into a fully fledged TV series that will air on the Angel Studios app. So part of me wonders, are we going to come to an era where TV shows are so much better than movies that are sent to theaters, that like season premieres, this is going to be a thing where the big show comes out, like an HBO show or whatever, and the season premiere is going to be shown in theaters, and the season finale is going to be shown in theaters as well. I would love that. Imagine if like Succession, the last 2 or 3 episodes of that show aired like in succession, in theaters. That would be wonderful. So many people would go to that. The theater would be absolutely packed if they did that. And, compare that to, I don't know, the secret society of magical Negroes. I feel like it's a no-brainer when it comes to what you're going to pick. Right? So I think that theaters are going to find a way to put content up on the screen and in their projectors that people are going to want to see, whether it be old movies or new movies. And I think because of that, theaters aren't really going to die, but maybe the types of films that we're seeing in theaters now are no longer going to be shown in theaters.